Alright, welcome back. Hope everyone's having a lovely day or a lovely night enjoying this new banner. Hoping you guys pulled for Trony, and if not, if you're saving, keep on saving. But if you pulled, I hope you had good luck and you managed to luck sacker. If you wanted to see how my luck went, don't forget about the video I uploaded yesterday. Hope you guys enjoyed that. And today, like I said yesterday, I did plan to do some testing on Trony, and I did some testing off camera. And I really wanted to talk about her because her character is interesting, to say the least. I feel like we have another situation similar to like Leona and Tuve, where we might need to wait for future characters or something, but we'll see. I don't want to get too ahead of myself. Now, before that, I was say, how are you guys liking this banner? The story has been pretty damn good, if I should say so myself. I like a lot of the story that they keep bringing up with the arc and stuff, but I don't want to spoil anything, so if you've been liking the story, just let me know. You know, I've been loving it. I like the spicy drama going on. It's cool because it also goes into the campaign, which I like. I think that's really awesome. Now, with all that being said, let's talk about Trony real quick. So, when I got her, I didn't do that much to her character. I just put 444 on her skills, and I gave her equipment and stuff. I don't have a cube on her, so just keep that in mind. So, this is just what I have available. So, my numbers are going to be different. As you can see, like with Trony Bomber, it's only going to go up so much. Because it's only, since I'm only at 4, it's only going to go to 1,117%. So, with all that out the way, let's go to Union Raid. And I was doing a few tests. And since she's a fire character, I felt like maybe using her in fire would just be a good neutral ground. So, I really wanted to talk about her. And I've done a few tests with schoolgirls, the bunnies, and my own little distributed damage team. And I just want to talk about the team that I'm using and the reason. So, I'm mostly using Dorothy just because she does have this like accumulated damage feature. And E-Leg actually really helps Trony in terms of the distributed damage. And with Trony's distributed damage, you know, then there goes Scarlet Black Shadow, same thing for Tubi. So if you don't have Tubi, this is just a flex thing right here for her that I'm using right now for testing. We're mostly focused here on Trony because I really want to talk about how she works. And it's complicated because the way she works is a hit or miss. And we're going to test her in both the normal one right here, and then we're going to go test in a boss. And I'm going to show you a few things about her kit that's kind of a problem, especially if you're not doing manual. Because she might need to be a manual in certain situations, and I'll explain why. So let's get into it and let's talk about it. And obviously, I will skip forward, so you won't have to see the full time frame and stuff, but let's just talk about how her kit works first. So, when it comes to her kit, Trony Bomber is her skill 1, and Trony, what's it called? Efficiency for All, or whatever, is her skill 2, and Mega Trony is her skill 3, so keep that in mind. Now, you won't see her skill 1 here. You'll see it on the enemy. So we only know it's on the enemy if we see her little Trony icon, and we'll see in a second. I see it over there, and then it already disrupted. And this is kind of a problem that I wanted to talk about when it came to Trony fighting ads. As you can see, there is a boss here. And the Trony, that little icon over there of the little stick figure guy, that's the Trony Bomber. And it did some damage right there, as you can see. So her damage is actually going up. So that's good. But the problem with this is that, look, Trony's AI is just going for anybody. And the problem with this is that it's wiping the enemies too fast. So her Trony Bomber is not accumulating the full damage, and she is not being efficient with her kit whatsoever. So what you're going to want to do is genuinely like focus and manual, full charge it, and make sure that Trony Bomber is on those certain enemies, like the boss for instance. You can't have them going for the ads, because if they go for the ads, they're not making use of their kit whatsoever. Similar to Dorothy, where you want to make sure that accumulated damage goes on the boss and not just some random ad to get the maximum damage. You know what I mean? So that's really important. As you can see, we're getting E-Leg's Boom install and stuff. So we're getting some good buffs for Trony. Obviously, Scarlet Black Shadow here and Dorothy are just kings, and E-Leg's doing even better. But I really wanted to talk about this because obviously this is neutral ground, so there is some there's like a bit of bias for both Scarlet Black Shadow and Eleg. But I just wanted to focus on Trony because the way her kit works is pretty unfortunate because she does need a lot of support in order for her to work really well. Because for Trony Bomber, you really want to make sure you get the boss and whatever adds to make sure you get that distributed damage that you're looking at right there. But if her AI goes for another add, it's going to cancel out and it's going to have to restart the Trony Bomber from her skill 1. So it's really unfortunate how it's working out because I feel like she has potential, but it's just not here right now. And that's a shame because she's only doing 16 million compared to everybody else, and she's the weak link of the group, honestly. And it's because her AI is just going for random people and she's just not utilizing her kit like this. See? The Trony Bomber disappeared right there on that enemy. You really need to make use of her kit. So if you're going to do a normal campaign stage with her, you have to manual if you want to make full use of her kit. And that's pretty unfortunate, because I know a lot of people don't like... Some people enjoy the snipers, some people don't. So if you like manualing with snipers, then Trony, just make sure you go for the bosses to trigger that Trony Bomber. Now, I want to go take you to a boss real quick so we can talk about this real quick. Because with the boss, it's kind of a different story. And she actually has a lot more success here. And you'll see the big difference that her Trony Bomber makes for her kit and her damage, because she didn't do that much damage at all. So let's see how it looks when we're fighting a boss for Trony herself. And by the way, this testing is just for PvE. I am not a PvP tester whatsoever. I play PvP, but I leave that up to Pridewin. I leave that up to the testers out there, JP bros. Leave it all to them. So as you can see, the Trony Bomber is active, and we got Eleg here supporting her as well. So already, it's already a better start for her because she's already at 7 million. That's already almost half of what she pretty much made last time. And we're already only 30 seconds in. So Trony's strong suit is definitely towards solo raid or union raid. She's definitely going to be a boss, like an extra team. But the extra team is what I really wanted to talk about, because she is getting support with this team, but all these characters, in my opinion, have a better team for someone else. And I'll explain that after we're done. Because as you can see, we're already at 18 million for Trony. And we're at the 2 minute mark. So Trony's Trony Bomber, her distributed damage is so helpful in just the boss, because all the damage is focused on one enemy. So it gets her skill 1 procs to the accumulated damage, which is what you want. Because she's not able, if she's just fighting ads or you're not manualing, her AI is just going to go wherever. So she's definitely a more boss favored Nikke. Because we're already at 25 million, and I'm pretty sure we're already past our damage that we had from last time. So with all that out the way, she's definitely just going to be a solo raid / union raid boss. Keep that in mind. You know, at the end of the day though, if this is waifu and you don't care about efficiency or anything, then go right ahead. But I'm just doing some testing and giving you some honest answers about how Trony is, and she's... I honestly, when Pride One comes out, I wouldn't be surprised if she's like a B or a C in the story, and she has like an A or maybe an S in bosses. I think she might just be like an A for bosses, honestly. Like, I can't see her being an S tier, but that's okay, because she's not unusable, and I feel like that's a good thing in this game. I feel like too many people expect these broken Nikkes, but at the end of the day, I feel like as long as they still have a purpose, and this is still doable for a team, I think this is a good spot. She could be stronger, yeah, but I don't think she's unusable. I feel like someone unusable is someone like Rosanna or Aid, where they're just not that good. Their kits are just not up to snuff, and it's just not worth using them. I feel like she has a purpose, and it's definitely for bosses. It's definitely a solo raid situation. It's definitely a union raid situation. Now, that being said, obviously, her testing will improve if you put in bunnies or if you put in the schoolgirls, but I wanted to talk about why that's not really a viable option. So, when it comes to these team setups for solo raid, you could put in the bunnies and the schoolgirls to increase her stats, or even putting Crown and Naga and Litter and get the buffs from Crown. You can do that. I've done that testing before, and a lot of people are saying, yes, her buffs will help her damage, but that's applicable to any Nikke. And I feel like Trony's a bad spot for those bosses, in my opinion. And I'll show you why real quick. Because let's say you have a spot for the bunnies. Well, if I had a spot for the bunnies that I wanted to do, then it's going to be similar to this. I'm not going to have Red Hood or Moderna here, but I'll have like maybe... I'll probably put Scarlet Black Shadow, or maybe A2 here with Noir. So I don't really want to use my bunnies on Trony just for her to try to get the max use out of her kit by doing just enough damage, when I could put it on better Nikkes. Or if I have my schoolgirls, I rather apply it to a team where I can get the most out of like piercing or focus on core. So I rather put in someone like Ludmilla, Winter, or have this team, depending on like what the solo raid type is. Or even put in Summer Anise and Privity. I wouldn't want to put Trony in here. And like before, I wouldn't want to use my Crown or Litter for buffs for Trony, because I'd rather put it on the meta team. So I'd rather just put her in that distributed damage team. That being said, I would need to use a different character than Dorothy, because Dorothy has a better spot for me. And I would need to use someone else for 2B, because 2B is for Guillotine and Mast. So what is the consensus with Trony? The consensus, in my opinion, is that she's usable. She's not the strongest, but she's not the weakest. I feel like she's going to be an A tier for her best, and it's going to be for bosses. For ads, she's going to be pretty rough around the edges to use if you're not manualing. If you manual and you're focusing on the boss, then that's a different story. But even if there is a boss, it's going to come up at the end, and you'll still have to deal with the less amount of damage you're providing for your Trony. So it's a little bit complicated, but I think it'll iron itself out in the future. I feel like Shift Up tends to release a lot of Nikkes with certain niches that would otherwise be fine if we had more support for her. But Eleg is her biggest supporter right now, and maybe Dorothy, but like I said, Dorothy's for a better team, in my opinion. So Eleg and Trony they can work together, but we need to find some good teams for the other three characters. There could be a flex build with like maybe like adding Alice, but that means we still need a burst 1 and maybe one more burst 3, either 2 burst 1s or another burst 3 added with that extra flex that I said. But we'll have to see. I think she's not the worst. I definitely think you can make a team around her for solo raid with whatever you have left. I don't think she's unusable, and I think there'll be other Nikkes that provide support for her in the future, and maybe that's what they're trying to build around, is this distributed damage meta team. So we'll see how that goes. But that's it for me. What's your guys' thoughts on Trony? Are you guys enjoying her kit? Do you think it'll work itself out in the future like how they did with Leona, Tuve, and Privity Maid? That's what I'm thinking, honestly, so I'm not that bummed out about it. I think she's in a pretty alright spot. Yeah, she could do better, but it could be worse, you know? But that's it from me, and I just want to say thank you again for all the support. If you didn't know, we actually hit 300 subs, and that's awesome to me. I didn't think we'd actually hit 300 subs, so thank you again for all the support. You guys are the best, and stay tuned for the next one. You guys take care.